Hey guys, welcome to the first Road Break podcast. Uh, Here are the members of Road Break: Ryan Weber,
Amen.
Juan Palacios, two big wrestling fans. Uh, this idea came out due to our friendship, and we're going to be talking about our impressions of the Royal Rumble and the aftermath of those in both Raw and Smackdown Live. So we're going to start off talking about the Royal Rumble, the main show, because we don't really watch the pre-show. There are things that we don't really like about the pre-show, and we know that if you're in the pre-show, you're not in the pay-per-view.
It's unfortunate, but it's true.
So, the first match of the Royal Rumble was Becky Lynch and Asuka.
Very good match, I thought. Both women went out, did a very good job. The only issue I had was the ending.
Why?
Well, I thought it made her look, Becky Lynch I'm talking about, made her look very weak. In a way, I want Becky to look strong going towards Mania. Obviously, creative doesn't care about that. Again, I think Asuka needs to look strong too. But, having Becky tap, I'm not a fan of that. I'd much rather have her pass out in the Asuka lock than have her tap. But, overall the match was, I think, very good. One of the better women's matches so far this year. The women continue to elevate and impress me. So, if the triple threat match, it's going to end up being Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte isn't the main event, I think they're going to be screwed at Mania. So, but, these two tore down the house. Thought it was a very good opening match. But, how they continue to elevate, we'll see. What do you think?
I agree with you. I feel that the match was really solid. Started out nice, both girls going at it. I think that the ending is really bad for Becky Lynch, because why would you have her tap out? Why would you have her tap out?
That's where I get upset, because what led them later in the night, I don't understand, because it makes her look kind of like a crybaby. You have her tap out, makes her look extremely weak, but then later in the night at the Rumble, she comes out and demands that she wants to get into the Rumble and take Lana's spot. The two just don't really go together, so that's where I got a little mixed up and didn't understand creative, but I really don't understand creative anyway in today's world, because WWE creative is kind of screwed up.
I would much rather see like a fuck finish.
I would be fine with a count out, a DQ, something like that.
I would much rather just see Charlotte come in and screw up the match. But to me, it was a good match, really solid. I like the interactions between both of them. The spot when she did that suplex outside of the
back exploder.
Yeah, the back exploder, very solid. I think that was a pretty decent match. Both of them looked really strong. But at the end, I know that she did a variation of the Asuka lock.
Yes.
But why would you make her tap out?
That's what bothered me.
It's bad for the gimmick.
Yeah.
It's bad for what you're trying to portray with Becky Lynch.
The man will never Will never tap out. Right? She, to me, I don't understand why you would do it. And on the road to WrestleMania, you can't have her lose. And right now, after what I saw on Smackdown, I see her losing again to Charlotte, for Charlotte to be qualifying somehow to get her into the mix of this match. So, I don't know. Right now, I know WWE, they do not like people getting, over on their own. So, any way somebody is over. It happened with Daniel Bryan. They hated it when he got over on his own on the way to WrestleMania 30, and the fans forced WWE to put him in the main event, and they were pissed.
We'll see what happens. I feel again that
I love the spots they had when they were trading finishers and stuff. Because there was one point where Asuka was in the ropes, and she had her in the Asuka lock, and then they were back and forth with the disarmer.
That
and
is
the
something
lock.
that WWE is starting to do back again, like the stealing finishers.
Yeah.
That is something that I truly like. That was one of my favorite spots of the night. So I really hope that they do justice to Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. So far is her and Ronda, but we know that somehow Charlotte will get in the main. And
it's been reported by Meltzer.
It's been reported several sources. So we'll see what happens on that match. It was a very solid beginning of the Royal Rumble. Yeah. You needed that type of match to start the show.
To me, you always need something to start the show to get the crowd up.
To get the crowds excited.
Yeah.
So now let's go to Sheamus and Cesaro against Shane O'Mac and The Miz.
Oh.
In my case, I knew that Shane and The Miz were going to win.
So did I.
We just didn't know how it was going to happen. The match was decent. To me, I was in average. They needed like that feel-good moment. I guess for The Miz's dad. We don't know what was that about. People say that they love Shane's moonsault. I would much rather see Coast to Coast. Why? Because I'm a finisher guy.
Are you talking about the shooting star?
When he did the shooting star, yes.
I would have rather seen Coast to Coast.
I would have much rather seen Coast to Coast and him hitting the elbow.
Yeah.
Outside, and he did not do it. He was not able to do it.
The only reason I think they didn't do those spots is because they're saving them for Mania. Because him and Miz, we all know this is going to culminate in a match.
We're already calling it, guys. Road Break will be for you one of the first sources to find out news. Shane O'Mac and Miz will be one of the marquee matches for WrestleMania 35.
Yes. I mean, like...
We're telling you guys right now, Road Break is telling you guys.
I definitely was not happy with the outcome of it. I knew they were going to win the match, but when I saw that it was reported that WWE was going to pay more attention to tag team wrestling, okay, I don't envision Shane McMahon and The Miz as your tag team champions. Okay, you have a legitimate tag team division on SmackDown, and you have your tag team champions as Shane McMahon, who is 50-some years old, and The Miz, who is a good worker and a legitimate, to me, much better on the mic than he is in the ring, but still decent in the ring. He could be doing something much better than this. I don't know. I feel it's a waste of time where tag team wrestling in so many other promotions is doing so much better than it is in WWE right now.
I feel that, why would you have them as champions? You don't need to create this super team when you have in your division, you have the Usos. You have Sanity that we haven't seen of.
Where are they? I don't, it's like they're on the back of a milk carton. You don't, they're missing MIA, missing in action.
And we're going to quote somebody that we know, they're on catering.
Yes.
They became part of the newest members of the catering crew. So we're Sanity. We're asking about what about Heavy Machinery?
Yeah.
They could be
definitely a big member of the division.
They could be part of this tag team match at WrestleMania.
For me, what they need to do, and I would do it with the women's division as well, you just need to put all the tag team divisions together and you have them as one, both Raw and SmackDown. Because both divisions are suffering right now. Raw especially. I mean, Raw's division is garbage right now. SmackDown's is definitely not much better if you're having The Miz and Shane as your champions. So, but we'll get back to that.
I feel that it was a decent match, but we knew the outcome.
Yes.
Because there was no way that Shane and The Miz were going to lose. Why? Because we're going to see that match at WrestleMania 35.
I don't know about you, but I feel like the Royal Rumble was very predictable this year. I feel like every match was very predictable.
I feel that it was very predictable, and also it lacked the surprise power.
Yeah.
Because there was no surprises at all, no big names,
right?
No legends either.
Rumble, yeah. Usually in the Rumble you have a nice pop for I remember a DDP or a Kevin Nash or Bubba. Right.
Or Bubba coming back.
Right, I remember that. But nothing this year.
Yeah, so I feel
not even in the women's Rumble.
And not even there was no legends.
Right?
Yeah.
That pissed me off. The Rumble was used for that and there was nothing.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was a decent match. if you ask us, I would have rather match see coast to coast in the end of the match. Why? Because you're gonna hear this from me. I'm a big finisher guy. A match always needs to end with a finisher. So moving forward, actually, we're gonna talk about Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks. Ryan, what do you think about that match?
To me, I'm gonna say that was probably Ronda's best match so far. I think Ronda continues to improve. I'm not gonna say on mic work yet, but in the ring, I'll say she continues to improve. And if there's anybody to help her improve, it's Sasha Banks. I'm a big fan of Sasha. I think that she is just mistreated by WWE. Her title reigns have been so short. I don't care what is stated in the tabloids or whatever, how she acts in the back or whatever. She is probably the best they have in the ring, and from what I've seen, she has brought every single wrestler they have there when it comes to women to their best match. It can be said for Nia, it can be said for, whatever, Charlotte, everybody. I think
Asuka?
Yeah.
Asuka?
I think their best match has always been with Sasha, and I think it's the same now for Ronda. It was an excellent match, I think. The spots were very good, back and forth. A little sloppy at times with Ronda, I noticed I remember the one spot with the elbow,
Yeah.
where he was the jumping elbow.
Yeah.
But still, I think a very good match, brought her to a good match, and the only issue I had was the storytelling. It felt rushed. It felt very, I don't know. Ronda just felt like a crybaby during the, I want to be your friend. I want to be I want to see badass Ronda. I don't want to see smiling Ronda anymore. I just want to see, Ronda as a powerful, MMA fighter. I don't want to see Ronda smiling anymore. Where Sasha during this feud I liked a lot more because she became bitch Sasha again. NXT like Sasha. I want to see I want to see the boss again. I don't want to see fucking Bayley and Sasha team up and win the tag titles, where I know they're gonna go and do that, but I'd rather see Sasha rise and become champion again and be bitch Sasha. That's where she shines, much where I think, Charlotte shines as bitch Charlotte. She's
much better as a heel.
Much better.
Much better as a heel than a face. And I agree. I enjoyed the match. Very back and forth. There were some spots that, they were really sloppy. I like the spot when she took off her hand wrist.
Yeah.
And she started to choke Ronda in the back and Saman. But to me, one thing that I didn't like is why didn't she do the armbar? When she claims that that's her finishing move. And once again, that's her most lethal weapon. And she did not use that. And Sasha just loses to her by pinfall.
Yeah.
When both of them, the storytelling is, I'm going to make you submit. Because I know that you don't like tap out. But, yes.
Now, this is just me, but I feel like they did that so they can revisit this feud
later on
and say, listen, you may have beaten me, but you didn't make me submit.
Make me submit. Also, like you said, for example, why is a champion has to be crying to the challenger, being like, oh, I want to be your friend? It should be like, hey, you won my title, come and get it. Beat me if you can. Don't you agree with that?
I do. And I feel that, again, this is to me just creative. Creative doesn't know. I feel like they book on the fly. They have no idea where they're going from one week to the next. I feel like they come in Monday and say, hey, let's just write Raw right now. I don't think they have any idea what they're doing.
What are we doing?
I really don't. I think they have no idea what the hell they're doing from one week to the next, and I think that's why Ronda looks like garbage most of the time. Because she should be coming out and just have a stoic look on her face and should not be smiling at all.
She should not be talking about also like little things like this. Oh, I want to be your friend.
No.
Or you misunderstood me.
No.
I don't give a fuck.
Right? I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. I'm fucking Ronda Rousey, and I'm gonna make you submit.
Right? I'm gonna break your fucking arm.
If you're coming after my title, I'm gonna break your arm. That's the only story that you need to tell Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Why? And that's why for you can see now that like she gets upset with the crowd because they portray her wrong.
For me, dude, I'm sorry, but again, that to me is part of her. Somebody needs to sit her down and say, listen, okay, you need to get over it. Okay, WWE is a whole different animal. Okay. Okay, crowds are going to eat you alive. Okay, so get over it. If they boo you, who gives a shit?
That's something that, for example, is like you're Ronda Rousey. You're not supposed to be well liked by everybody.
No. Okay.
Who gives a fuck who likes you and who gives a fuck who doesn't
That's
like
the thing.
you?
That's the thing. I'm sorry, but I know we'll come to this when it comes to Raw, but she looked so fucking flustered on Raw when she was cutting her promo. Okay, because they were booing the hell out of her and nothing but Becky Chance.
She did not know how to handle the crowd.
She did not. She did not.
She lost all her lines. She was blank.
That's
for like a good 10 seconds.
That shows how green she still is when it comes to Mike.
And that's when they should work with her because see, her work as a wrestler, her workload is decent.
Yes.
She can pull off matches, and like you said, Sasha Banks can bring you to your best match. Why? Because she is indeed the best wrestler, female wrestler that they have right now. And WWE should revisit that route and push her knowing her capabilities, knowing what she's able to do. I enjoyed the match, like I said, very nice. We still have her as the champion. We know why. We did know that she was not going to lose the championship. So, moving forward, we have the Women's Royal Rumble. First 2 hours of the pay-per-view, action-packed with women. Did you like the Women's Royal Rumble?
Yes and no. I enjoyed parts of it, but there were parts of it that really pissed me off. Okay? Some of the issues I had, okay, why the fuck was Hornswoggle under the fucking ring? Okay? There's no reason to have this stupid shit still going on. Okay? Listen, WWE. AEW is going to be a competitor. If you're still doing this shit, okay, you are going to be the next WCW and go out of fucking business. Okay? I'm sorry, but quit doing the childish shit. Okay? No more fucking pancakes with New Day, shit like that. I even heard New Day wants to leave and face the Young Bucks. Okay? I hope they do. Okay? I would love to see that. I'm tired of this thing. I'm tired of all this shit that they do. Okay? That's one shit that fucking bothered the hell out of me. I'm fine with Selena Vega under the ring, hiding out, Jerry the King Lawler style, that's heel, fine. But, other shit that bothered me was the way Becky Lynch entered the Royal Rumble. There are other ways to me that she could have entered without looking like such a pussy. Like I said, with tapping out and then, oh yeah, okay, sure, fine, enter. But, I don't know, it just, to me, she could have entered a totally different way, I don't know, but, because I've seen it done before with Angle, he went to, I remember, it was Nunzio from the FBI, and he, just took his number and, beat the shit out of him, and he went to the ring. Could have been done, because she's a badass now.
Exactly. The way she came, it was not good. It was stupid for me. But to me, I agree with you. They should not do those hornswoggle things. To me, you're wasting Selena Vega. And I will explain why. She comes out with one of the most, I will say, outstanding, gear attires. She was a Vega.
Oh, yeah.
Street Fighter fans, we know, you probably will see us there. Isn't that nice? Have her show some moves at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Have her have a good showing.
Because she, I'm sorry.
She's a good wrestler.
She is good.
She can actually fight.
If you watch NXT, I used to love when she would do hurricanranas on on the fucking men of all things. That was beautiful.
And for people that don't know Selena Vega, she portrays AJ Lee in Paige's movie, Fighting with My Family. So she is a wrestler. She was on TNA before. She fought along with Rosita.
Yeah.
So she is a nice wrestler. Why don't you have her fight? When she came out with one of the most, I will say, outrageous outfits in the Royal Rumble. That was my first problem. My second problem, why people that are already eliminate people that are in it?
Yeah.
Mandy Rose did this to Naomi.
Yeah.
Those are the things that really bother me.
That doesn't bother me as much when you're telling a story. Okay? Like, I get the Mandy Rose thing simply because they're trying to tell a story. It's a bullshit story, but I get why they did it. Okay? So, that I kind of understand, but it's still a little bullshit. Because, one of my favorite Royal Rumble moments of all time is when Austin won the Rumble in '97 and eliminated Bret Hart. Okay? He had already been eliminated by Bret Hart, but the referees didn't see it because they were outside focusing on Mankind and Terry Funk. So he slips back in, eliminates Bret Hart, wins the whole thing. That's one of my favorite of all time. And Austin was heel at the time, but was getting over after his 316, King of the Ring thing. One of my favorite spots. So you are saying you hate that stuff. That is one of the greatest Rumble moments of all time for me.
I will bring up to you one moment that also didn't make any sense. Rumble 16, the Wyatt family eliminates Brock Lesnar.
I hated that spot simply because it never led to anything.
It never led to anything.
If you're going to do it, have it lead to a Mania match. I heard it was supposed to lead to something, and it never fucking did.
And then it ended up becoming Dean Ambrose, who went at Lesnar in that Mania.
But it made no fucking sense because it never led anywhere.
So that's one of the things that bother me. The lack of legends. Because like you said, I was hoping for some legends. I was hoping for Trish. I was hoping for Lita.
Right.
And one thing that nobody has mentioned, and we'll only once again you'll hear it here on Rubric, why Nia Ripley is in the Royal Rumble and not Toni Storm. Your UK champion. She was right there. She was featured on TakeOver.
I'm assuming because she's the champion. That's what I'm assuming. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming because she's the champion, not him. Because
I was really hoping for Toni Storm.
Because in the men's rumble, notice that they had Gargano in it. Okay, now he's the North American champ, but they didn't have Ciampa.
Oh well, you know what Ciampa said. It's like, I don't need to fight for any titles because I have the main title.
I saw that.
I'm the main event.
Yeah.
The main event is the main event of NXT TakeOver, which is
but it's
the truth.
It's the truth.
And Ciampa remains in character at all times. So that's really cool, and we will do more NXT reviews coming forward. But that's one of the spots that bother me. Overall, I think it was a decent showing for all the women. Some of them were really screwed by, like Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross got fucked. I'm sorry. But
Nikki Cross was really messed up, and she's getting over.
Cause what is the not Mandy, the other blonde from NXT?
Lacey Evans.
She eliminated several people. Okay. Entered at number 2?
She was number 1.
Stayed in the Rumble, had a great showing. Okay. I'm sorry, but the reason that happened is because she's blonde and has big tits. Okay? That's because of Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon. Okay? Nikki Cross should have been in there tearing the house apart, ripping people's faces off, throwing people out. She had a fucking horrible showing in the Rumble. They don't know what the fuck to do with her. Get Sanity back on the fucking roster and put her with Sanity and have her be able to tear the house apart with them.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the fuck to do with her, put them back together and have them at least be a faction again.
If you have a faction, you can actually go for championships.
That's what I mean.
You can have them do like go after the tag titles, she could easily go for like the women's championship.
I just don't understand. I don't understand.
My whole thing with Nikki Cross is like, again, don't call them up if you don't know what to do with them. The 1 week she had a match on Raw, and the next day on SmackDown she's outside trying to play with Rey Mysterio.
But that's what I mean. She was like banging on a fucking cage. I don't understand. But the match on Raw didn't make sense because she was fucking tagging with Bayley. You know, like what is?
And if she's gonna, if her gimmick is being a lunatic, she's not gonna be tagging with Bayley or Sasha.
No.
Or Natalia. No, that's not the case.
I'm sorry, but no.
And the ending of it, I really like that Becky won it the way that it was done. It didn't make any sense.
No.
It did not make any sense whatsoever, because all of a sudden you just show up. I would have much rather would have just been like Mick Foley did in the 03.
Oh, definitely. Like I said,
or 04. I'm sorry.
I would have much rather had that. You know,
beat the shit of somebody.
Right, and you.
I was hoping when Lana was coming out, I was hoping that she will come out and start beating her up.
Yeah.
And then
she will
she will take her spot, and she would have been, instead of asking Finlay. Why do you need to ask?
Well, my thing is, what gives Finlay the fucking authorization to even, like, give her the spot? Is Finlay, like, part of the fucking creative team that he can just say, yeah, go ahead?
Is he Vince McMahon?
That's what I mean. I don't understand.
He's just Finlay, and he loves to fight.
Right? I'd much rather see Finlay with the shillelagh again.
I want Finlay and Hornswoggle back again. So if you're there, Finlay, we want you back with Hornswoggle and the shillelagh.
Jesus.
So, at the end, Becky Lynch wins. She eliminates Charlotte. That was a nice spot. In this whole rivalry, Charlotte, it is indeed helping her out.
Well, I'm glad.
They're righting a lot of wrongs when it comes to both of them.
I think so. At least, I didn't like that. You know, they're playing off the knee injury so much and everything, because it made Becky look again very weak, and I think they were trying to make Charlotte look invincible again. But anyway, at least Becky won. I was just happy Becky won, but I know Charlotte is going to be...
Another good thing, I will say a positive, she eliminated Nia Jax.
Yes.
So that was nice, because that way she got her revenge on Nia for breaking her face.
Yeah, right when Nia was giving her the...
It was not, and Charlotte did help her out. So it was a good interaction between the three of them. But once again, you're eliminated, you shouldn't be trying to eliminate somebody that is already in it.
Yeah.
One of the one girl that really impressed me, Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah.
Very nice showing from her.
That I gotta say, I was very impressed.
Did you know that she is Ricochet's girlfriend?
I did not.
Rope break right there. Telling you for you guys. We will tell you everything.
She's very tiny.
She is tiny, but she's very Ricochet-like.
Yeah, she's very athletic. She can do a lot of shit. That spot outside the ring, back in, she, very Spider-Man-like. Very, very nice spot.
And WWE, if you have her do that, can it be just one person?
Yeah.
And not Kofi and Naomi?
Well, I'm sorry, but you know WWE and how they like their Rumble spots, and they like to have them do all that shit.
So, can we do that once at least?
It should be only once a Rumble.
One.
It should be once
now
a Rumble.
Now it was 3.
Right?
It was
should
3.
Be once a Rumble, but they had to do it, like, multiple times.
To me...
It takes away from the specialness.
I feel that, like, she's really tiny, but at the same time she's going to be really, really good in the ring. Very athletic. And she will be, indeed, the female version of Ricochet. For the people that don't like vanilla midgets.
Fuck that.
You have that girl. She can go with anybody. And we're actually supporting you. We want to see more of you, Casey Catanzaro.
Amen. Watch Gargano versus Ricochet. Great match.
Take over. That match was really good.
Oh.
And it was full with nice spots. Counters, moonsaults, shooting star press.
Oh my god.
Full with action. And that's the kind of wrestling that some people hate, but is good. So AEW, That's the kind of wrestling we enjoy, and that's the kind of wrestling we want to see.
Amen.
Moving forward, Becky Lynch wins the Royal Rumble. Now we have Daniel Bryan against AJ Styles for the WWE Championship.
Yes. I thought this was a very good match. But again, I didn't see anything really too different from the rest of their matches. I'm growing very tired of this rivalry. I feel like WWE has done this with a lot of their rivalries with the WWE Championship. They did it with Styles and Joe. They did it with Styles and Nakamura, where they drag on a feud, and there's almost nothing left for the competitors to show. And then at the end, where you have Rowan come, and now again, that was a surprise, but a very odd choice to just end a match.
And I don't know if you agree, Ryan. One chokeslam and done.
Yeah.
Why is it done with one chokeslam?
But that to me was a very odd choice too, because Eric Rowan is, not devastating to me at all. Maybe Kane from '98, one choke slam and done, but Eric Rowan, no.
And if you have Eric Rowan coming back, where's Harper?
I'm sorry, if you have Eric Rowan coming back, I want to see the Wyatt family.
I want to see the whole Wyatt family and Bo in it.
Yes.
Bo Dallas, go with your brother Bray.
Get rid of the fucking B team. Oh my god, that is a fucking terrible
Is
tag team.
destroying your tag team division, guys. So to me, like you said, Ryan, they didn't give me anything new.
I didn't
Same moves. Is a good technical match. If you love two guys who have a lot of technique craft in the ring,
you won't see
you're
any,
gonna like it.
Yeah, you won't see any two better than these two.
But at the same time, is more of the TLC, more of the 2 times on SmackDown Live.
Yes.
So by this time, we're getting tired of it. And I agree with you. Somehow, SmackDown Live, this whole 2018, dragged the WWE Championship with AJ Styles.
Am I right?
With long feuds. Shinsuke Nakamura, 3 pay-per-views. WrestleMania, the Greatest Royal Rumble, and Money in the Bank. Did we get any? I think in Backlash too.
We got
4
we
matches.
got 4 freaking matches, and I'm sorry, but
Same thing with Joe.
And
the whole year, the same match.
It would have been better. I would have been fine with it. Okay, I am not usually a big fan of hot potatoing the title. Okay, but if you're going to drag a feud out that long, okay, with no other contenders, okay, then maybe switching the belts around is going to gather intrigue a little bit more.
It will become more interesting.
Yes.
It will give more more reasons why they have the match.
Yes.
Rather than, I'm chasing after you, and we keep going match after match after match, and yet I'm still getting title matches all of a sudden.
Right. And again, this new era of WWE still makes no sense because nothing has changed. I don't see any changes. We're still getting the same matches. So really, WWE comes out, again, all the McMahons, and we're going to have fresh matchups and everything. We're, none of this, none of that, and we're going to do all of this for the fans, and it's all garbage because have you seen any changes? Maybe fans who are delusional are going to say yes, but people who are realistic are going to say, of course not.
I will actually give you an idea for a title match that should have happened in the Royal Rumble. Mustafa Ali and Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. If you want to say a new era with new matchups, that's the freshest you can get.
I would be fine with it because Mustafa Ali coming up has been fresh. He can fucking move in the ring.
He's a good athlete.
He is.
He has a nice moveset, and he can go.
Yeah.
He's shown that he can go. He's shown that he can go ever since he had that match with Cedric Alexander WrestleMania 34.
No doubt. But all the cruiserweights can. How long are you going to keep the rest of them on 205 Live and handcuff them to that division?
Exactly. And please, for me, push Kalisto again. Push Kalisto again. He's a younger Rey Mysterio. And the only reason they don't push him is because Rey Mysterio is back in the WWE. So please, give Kalisto the US Championship. But anyway, I will say that seeing Rogan was surprising, but at the same time, why?
You could say surprising, but again, I think it almost was like letting all the air out of a balloon. Because once you saw him, people, I think, were very puzzled and just kind of it drained. If people were even excited for this match, all the excitement went out of the match when they saw it, and I don't think anybody was excited. Nobody's excited to see Eric Rowan. He's not a man people get excited for.
He's not a household name. If you're not into wrestling big time, you don't know who Eric Rowan is.
No. So...
Or you probably will think that's the guy that wore the sheep mask.
So, I'm sorry, but, I see where they're going to go with this. He's going to be a part of this, Daniel Bryan thing where, you need to recycle and you need to be a vegan and, everything like that. But I would much rather see him back. Bray is healthy. Bring Bray back. Get the Wyatt family back together. Put Bo in it and have that be a faction. I would love to see Sanity versus the Wyatt family.
That would be really nice. That would be really nice.
But
I would love to see that. It will be nice.
They won't, creative is fucking ridiculous.
It will be nice. And I don't know about you, Ryan, but how did you feel when it comes to the crowd's reaction? In many spots, the crowd was dead. And one of them was during this match.
Yeah.
There was no crowd reaction during AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan.
For me, and I think it's just because of...
We've seen this match before.
So many times. But again, I think it's towards where their product is right now.
Yeah.
I think their product is very stale right now. But again, like you said, we've seen this match now so many times. What more can these men do in the ring together?
Exactly. It was a good match if you love technical matches. At the end, the rivalry still continues, but do we really want to see that rivalry continue? No. So let's move along to Brock Lesnar and Finn Balor. David versus Goliath.
God, how many times did they reference that? Jesus.
Tell us, Ryan, how did you feel about it?
I enjoyed the match. I was really upset with the ending somewhat because the way I saw it, Finn Balor absolutely beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. I never saw... usually the way it goes, we saw it with AJ, we saw it with Bryan. We usually with the smaller opponents, okay, Lesnar beats the shit out of them, and, the little guy makes the comeback, okay? This was actually different, and I like that, okay? Balor dominated pretty much the whole match, okay? I really don't... I knew this was going to happen when he goes into the announcer's table. I knew they were going to reference the fucking diverticulitis thing, okay? I really don't see how that plays into anything. Lesnar has overcome that. That hasn't been an issue with his health in years. I've read his book. He's overcome it. If he's able to step into the fucking octagon, that's not going to be an issue in WWE. So I don't think they need to fucking reference that. He was selling that. He should have a fucking Oscar for how he sold the fucking diverticulitis. But, Balor fucking beat the hell out of him and owned the entire match. Lesnar locked a Kimura lock on him for 10 seconds and he taps. Hated how that ended. I would have much rather seen him hit an F5 and
done.
I fucking hated the ending.
I will say to you that the match was the best you can get from Lesnar is those 10 minutes.
Yes.
Lesnar is not a guy anymore that can give you longer matches. I will say that to me, Balor did dominate. Although I did enjoy the belly-to-belly suplexes.
That was nice.
Because it's different from Sid and Lesnar rather than German. Rather than Suplex City stuff. It was just the same match with Bryan and AJ, but in a different role. In a very different role. Meaning that the smaller guy dominated the whole match and then Lesnar did a comeback. But like you, I did not enjoy the fact that he likes the Kimura lock. And it's over. And it's done. Why is it done? He should have just done the F5.
I would have rather seen it.
Why do you need to submit? Why do you need to submit Finn Balor?
The fact that he went for an F5 and couldn't get him up for an F5 because he's selling the diverticulitis bothered me. Okay, my father has diverticulitis. Okay. Comes back and forth. You gotta watch what you eat and stuff. Okay. I get it. But it's not something that's going to affect you. If he, like I said, if he can get into the goddamn octagon for MMA fighting, the man is not going to be affected by this in WWE. So, them selling me, or trying to sell me on the fact that he's going to be injured by this, no, I'm not going to believe that. So, it bothered the hell out of me, and it was a terrible way to end the match to me that he just submits in the fucking
I will
floor.
much rather seen the F5. Because again, I'm a finisher guy, and I don't really appreciate the fact that you made him submit. And then you come back, and then you beat the shit out of him, and then you hit the F5.
Right, then he's okay.
And then he's okay to do the F5.
Yeah.
So the story right there was a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
But it was the best that you can see from Lesnar.
No doubt.
One more time he proves that he's better working with smaller guys.
I agree. Absolutely. Because all his matches, to me, I never got into a match with Lesnar when it comes to a Reigns. His Strowman match is awful. God awful. All the bigger opponents, I never got into a match with him and Triple H. Those matches I never got into. But him and Punk
tore
the house
SummerSlam 2013.
Fuck, great.
It was a great match.
Great fucking.
It was a great match because it told a really good story. It actually gave CM Punk a chance to win when he hit the GTS, and Heyman helped him out. It was, to me, that's the best match he's ever had during this whole tenure.
This run.
During the whole tenure in WWE after he came back.
The best matches he's had are his matches when he started 02 through 04. But
when he was
legit.
He was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Now he's a fighter.
Yeah.
So there's two different things here. So him coming back, his best match for me till date is the match with CM Punk.
No doubt. I'll agree.
But this match was something good, and you got most of what he can do now.
Yeah.
He did German, which he always does, but at least he switched it up with a little bit of belly-to-belly.
Yes.
Because he does do a nice belly-to-belly.
He does. I think he's equal when it comes to Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle when it comes to the belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah.
We knew that he was going to retain. We knew that Balor was not going to pull the miracle. He is a good wrestler, but WWE, once again, does not have faith in him.
No.
This match was booked on the fly.
WWE and we did not believe.
I'm sorry, Finn. We did not believe. I believe in you when I play WWE 2K19, but this time I did not believe. And I don't believe the fact that in the game you're 85. And every year keeps going lower, Finn.
Yeah.
So what's up with that?
You go to AEW, dude, you'll be 98.
That's true. Or you'll be 100. Because you can pull out great matches with anybody. What I'm suggesting for Finn, this WrestleMania should be either Bryan or AJ Styles. I know that there's plans for The Undertaker and him, which it will be nice, but the only way that I can see those two going at it is the Demon against the Dead Man.
If they do that, though, I say you can't have the Demon lose. And people don't want Taker to lose, so you're backing yourself into a goddamn corner. So I don't want that match to happen. So
it is the truth, because nobody wants to see the Demon lose.
No. I'm sorry. Either way, you can't have either man lose. Taker should freaking retire. You have 2 bad hips. You're fucking old. Just retire. Okay? I know you love him, dude, but retire.
I want to see Taker till the end of my days.
Do Styles versus Balor, too.
That would be nice. Take that rivalry from the TLC match.
Because they were restricted.
On 2017. Let them go.
Yeah.
Because I happen to believe, I don't know about you, Ryan, but I happen to believe that like they will put a much better match than Styles against Bryan. Balor can go more. Can do more stuff than Bryan.
I think he can, too. Bryan, and I've noticed, at least with this now, it's probably because he is restricted to, certain things, especially with WWE. He can't do as much. He does certain things, and everything, and I'm sure he's restricted to how much he can do, because of the concussion policy and everything. So Balor can do more with AJ Styles, and Styles and him
they will tear the house down.
No doubt.
And they both are versatile. They have different styles in the ring. They can do more. I'm not saying, Daniel, you're awful, you're great, but you're more restricted because of your injuries in the past. So, I will say if you want a match that is gonna both have a story in the middle and you're gonna have a great match, it should be AJ Styles against Finn Balor.
Well, to me, you already have a story.
You have the TLC rivalry.
You do. So
from 2017.
You can revisit.
You can revisit. So that's a great thing. To end our review on the Royal Rumble, where we'll talk about to finally, after 4 hours, this thing ended at 11:53.
That's 5 hours.
Even 5 hours. And if you watch the pre-show,
because that's what you're saying, the pre-show and everything. Jesus.
I mean, we love wrestling, but give us a little bit of a break. Here,
too much. WWE needs to cut pay-per-views back, man.
It was too long. I really feel that like the pre-show, you don't need a pre-show. Focus on the damn pay-per-view.
We were there for the Rumble last year, and I don't remember it being that long.
No, when we left, it was 11:15 around that.
Right.
Even I would say a little earlier than that. So. Maybe 10:30, 10:30 around that.
I want to say it was 11.
11, okay.
I want to say it was 11.
Yeah. I think 11 had to.
Just because I remember when Ronda came out and stole Asuka's moment.
We were about to leave, guys, and this is a Roadbreak exclusive. We were about to leave, and we hear na 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 na. I'll give a damn of a reputation, and we see Ronda Rousey coming out. We were both shocked because there were reports that she was not there because she was in Colombia.
Yeah, for her movie.
And she shows up, and we had to stay like another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And as we were leaving, we saw her being interviewed by WWE, and she was talking about how she felt and everything. But the pay-per-view this time was absolutely long. I think the Rumbles, both of them were longer than last year.
I think they were.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the men's. Ryan, what are your thoughts about that?
I enjoyed it. I don't know. I think it was the safest choice to go with Seth. If you're gonna pick somebody to go with, I myself would like to see somebody different, just because Seth is already built
superstar.
So the Rumble to me is meant for somebody who's not an established person yet. WWE for many years has not really used it that way. Like last year they did use it that way, but they didn't capitalize on it. They had Shinsuke, they used it, Nakamura won the Rumble. What do? They have him at WrestleMania.
And he lost.
And they
he lost to AJ Styles.
I feel like they sabotaged that match, because of the Reigns and Lesnar match. I really think McMahon is a fucking idiot and thought that match wasn't going to get as much heat as it did, and they actually changed that on the fly. Because I really do believe that Reigns was supposed to win last year, and on the fly they changed it and had Lesnar win, because that match, oh holy shit, did that get fucking heat. But that's why I think Nakamura and Styles' match really didn't achieve what it could have.
It could have, and that's when they had the right idea, pushing the right guy instead of like like you said in this year. Yeah, Seth Rollins was your safe choice, but if you would like to use the Rumble, like you said, like it was used before, to actually bring some other stars to the main event scene.
Think about it. It's a springboard, a platform to get people into the main event scene. Rollins has been in the main event scene. I don't think he's ever been out of it. You can say he has because he's been IC champion.
He's made mid-cards. You could say that.
You can say it, but to me, he's never really been out of the main event
And
scene.
if you think about it also, aside of Roman, because Dean's been out for like a year and a half, and Dean's has not been hot for the longest time.
And again, to me, creative's fault.
Rollins has been right there the guy. He's been the most consistent guy, and I think that's his reward right there.
Yeah.
Rumble win, because if you would have asked me, I would have given it to somebody that nobody was thinking about.
Exactly.
I would have given it to Andrade Cien Almas.
No doubt, dude.
And we will call him here Andrade Cien Almas. Or we will say Almas, because we don't like the fact that like WWE, in a matter of seconds, takes away your middle name. What's the reason for him to lose Cien Almas?
Not only your middle name, your first name, okay? What happened to Antonio Cesaro?
What happened to Alexander Rusev?
I don't understand the reasoning for shortening names, okay?
So you're gonna call Razor Ramon just Razor?
Right?
So you were gonna make him lose the Ramon. The one single thing that made his character like Scarface.
Well, see, they didn't do that back then.
Exactly,
They
but
didn't do
why
that.
do you do it now? But going back to the point, it should have been for somebody that was completely unexpected. WWE chooses to go the safe route. For me, my favorite spot, I enjoy Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble.
That was decent.
It was unexpected,
It was.
and also she got the RKO
That was nice. I like
and
the
the
spot.
619.
I like the spot.
That was the best spot in the Rumble, just because so unexpected, and I've read many reports that that's opening the door for intergender matches, which is nice, because we need that. Older fans like we are, we don't care about PG era,
No.
PG style type matches. We want to see women going against men
I'm sorry.
and beating the crap out of each other.
If you're going to have a new era, I think you need to step away from the PG and you need to go to at least TV 14.
And a little more risque things.
You do.
If Trish Stratus was able to go through a table by Baba,
Oh, yeah.
or even let's go further than that.
Mae
If
fucking Young. Mae fucking
If
Young.
Mae Young was able to go through a table, so can Nia Jax take an RKO and a 6-1.
Amen.
That was my favorite part. At the end, very predictable. The Elias didn't have a good showing.
No.
Jeff Jarrett there didn't do anything to me. Mustafa Ali being eliminated by Nia Jax.
That was bullshit.
That doesn't do anything good to his character.
No. And that showed on Smackdown.
He is losing a little bit of the momentum that WWE's already was trying to push, and he did get it. In fact, he got that by pinning Daniel Bryan in SmackDown Live. So why would you have a woman eliminate him? She could have chose anybody else. Apollo Crews.
That's where it should have been. It shouldn't have been him. It should have been like an Apollo Crews, somebody who's already in catering.
Somebody who is already in catering. You don't. If you just want to go to the Rumble and have a break from catering, just have Nia Jax eliminate.
Yes, Titus. Titus runs the catering department. Have Nia Jax eliminate Titus. That's a big feat.
Just tell him,
he's a
hey,
tall guy.
you didn't give me my cheesecake. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Get out of there. So, that was my only issue. But I feel that like having that on the show, it was adding a little bit of excitement. Because if you see the reactions from the people before that, I didn't think that people were into it either.
I can agree.
I'll
agree with it.
Lashley living in 2 seconds, it was good. But to me, okay, I know a lot of people hate Trashley. or Bobby Lashley, but he's your IC champion. Why you having make him look like a fool? So that already in its own is saying that the IC belt,
title is
the Intercontinental belt don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
For me, I understand why I know why they did it. The fans they think he is trash. They literally do. So they think it's going to be comical to do that sort of shit. That's why they did it to Santino. You know, they do it for the comedy of it, and they don't take professional wrestling seriously. Where, you know, you got other companies like New Japan, Ring of Honor, and now AEW who are going to actually come into the ring and wrestle and take this shit seriously like we want them to. You know, WWE's not going to do that. Okay? Vince McMahon, since the fucking 80s, has been saying, we're not wrestling, we're entertainment. I don't want to see entertainment anymore. Okay? I'm cool with certain aspects of it, you know, like
being comical every now and then.
Yeah, you know, stuff like that. But I want to see raunchier shit like we did in the Attitude Era. You know, the beer truck, you know, what happened with, you know, certain things that Foley did, you know, aspects of that transition into
comical things.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Sacco came through that.
You know, no doubt. You know, with the hospital scene and the bedpan and everything that
Mick Foley came from being a lunatic, a crazy man, a complete lunatic, and then he become this comical character.
Yep.
That will be in The Rock. This is your life.
Oh, that dude.
And
highest rated segment of all time.
Foley's best promos when he tried to impersonate The Rock.
Oh, dude.
The dozens of Mankind's fans.
I love it.
So
yeah, Mankind. I love.
Mick Foley was able to like channel his sense of humor, especially when he became the general, another general man, the commissioner.
He was the commissioner.
He was the commissioner.
No, dude, you saw the places he hid out and stuff. He was at like garbage cans and shit like that. That was awesome.
So I feel that WWE should not make people that they're pushing being eliminated in that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Dolph Ziggler came. He had a nice showing, but I think I'm very positive that was his last commitment with the WWE.
Dude, for me, AEW bound, I hope.
For Dolph and for Dean.
Yeah, no doubt.
For Dean.
Doubt.
If they're not utilizing you at the best of your capacity, go. Because as a wrestler, and I feel that like as a regular employee of any company, if they're not using you at the top of your game, or if they don't know what you're capable of, you should just go.
Well, Dean certainly made that clear. Now, again...
And we're going to go talk about that once we just finish with this. Seth Rollins is the winner of the 2019 Royal Rumble. Good. We both knew about it.
Yeah.
McIntyre gets eliminated by as Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really find a reason for that because Dolph is leaving the company. The rivalry is not going to continue, so why would you do that? Then you make McIntyre look like an idiot. Strowman at the end, okay, he has his little showing. Seth beats him up like Benoit almost did to the Big Show.
Yeah. Even though Benoit doesn't exist anymore.
He doesn't exist anymore. The 2004 Royal Rumble winner doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It didn't take place. It's recorded in just like one hidden spot in our minds. But anyway, that was the review for the 2019 Royal Rumble. We hope you liked it. Let's go to Monday Night Raw. The aftermath of the Royal Rumble.
Raw was...
What are your thoughts, Ryan?
I have a lot of trouble getting through Raw right now. Creative just doesn't know how to book this show at all. It was just not a good show at all. The only positive thing I have to say about the show is the end with Becky and Ronda. And I don't even think that was the end. The end was what, Lesnar and Rollins.
Yes.
So I mean, I think the top spot was Becky coming out with Ronda.
That was the segment that kind of like not even saved, but that was the only thing savable from the show.
Yeah.
Because the show started with Seth Rollins and Triple H tearing up. Which did not make any sense to me.
It made no sense to me. Then you have Dean come out. We have another. Now again, why do you need to have another Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins match? We've seen that how many freaking times now. Okay. Then, okay, you knew that Seth Rollins wasn't going to lose. Okay, so you have Dean lose. Then, okay, you have Dean. Now I don't know if this was planned or not, because Dean was about to. It looked like
he was about to cut a promo.
Right.
He was about to cut a promo.
So I don't know if that was like off the script or something, and that's why they had.
I think that like it was supposed to be off the script, and that's how they have Nia Jax come out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then he looked like a fool again because Nia punched him and he goes flying out of the ring.
And you could tell he was pissed.
Right.
And hours after the show, what is he doing?
Right.
Saying that he wants out, and actually WWE this time doesn't hide it.
They send a statement out.
And then send a statement wishing him well. So they knew they're screwing him over again.
Yeah.
Why would you have him lose again? 10 minutes of nothing. So we had to wait through the whole show with another showing of the tag champions. Bobby Roode, Chad Gable. You had the Revivals match against Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. That of course they lose. Because they have to make the Revival look somewhat decent because they won out. So to me, the most remarkable thing of that show is Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. If they wouldn't have Becky Lynch on the show, that show would have sunk like...
Big time.
Even if worse than the other shows that they had the lowest ratings ever.
No doubt. Because first of all, when Ronda came out, like I said before,
when she started with that line, yeah, with the line that like, oh, you need big dreams to accomplish. Why would you say that as a champion?
That's not Ronda though. Like I don't want to hear that shit from her. You know, I want you to be just a badass, okay? You know, don't be talking like that. You know, and then when the Becky chant started and everything, and she looked like a deer caught in the headlights. She lost all her lines, didn't know what the fuck to do. And then, you know, thank God, you know, Becky came, or first of all, it wasn't even Becky, it was Bayley that came out, and then they had
Bayley helped her out.
Right?
Bayley helped her out because she was completely out of words.
She was lost.
She was Strowman 3 weeks ago.
Right?
She was waiting for the cue. She did not know what to say. Thank God. Send Bayley.
Yeah.
And she was able to have the match. It was a decent showing.
It was decent.
We knew that she was gonna retain.
Yeah.
Bayley had a decent showing. We don't need to talk much about the match. Armbar, done. To me, at least, it would have been nice if Bayley would have been able to do the Bayley to Bayley. Why? Because that way you're showing that your champion is strong to kick out of somebody else's finisher. You hit yours, it's over. But like Ryan, I feel that Ronda Rousey should not be kind of having those scripted promos. If she's a badass, she should be like Sasha Banks becomes one more member of the losing end. She came in, she ran her mouth. What happened at the Rumble? Done.
Yep.
Go back to the corner and wait for your shot.
Yeah, you're at the end of the line now, bitch.
Yeah. You ran your mouth, I shut it. Instead of like coming with some scripted promos that really don't make any sense. But thank God for Bayley coming out. She saved the whole segment.
It did.
And on top of that, Becky Lynch came out. She got a really nice promo.
That was good. Becky's at the top of her game right now.
Promo-wise, she has gotten so much better.
I think and in ring work, I find her still, I've always found her very good in the ring.
She's very athletic and she knows what she's doing in the ring. That was never been an issue. Her issue, I guess, was like her accent and things like that, but like the way she portrayed her character in front of Rousey got Rousey so upset
Yeah.
that she completely lost it. And that's how she cuts her best promos.
Yeah. That, to me, after that, Rousey cut a great promo, and that was...
When she said to her, if I want to, I can kill you, but I'm just choosing not to. That's the Ronda Rousey that you want to portray.
You need to have that Ronda. That's the Ronda that needs to be there all the time. And to me, if the fans aren't going to be behind Ronda, okay, the easiest thing to do, okay, you don't need to have Ronda as a babyface. Okay? I'm sorry. Okay, WWE wants to always push their agenda on the fans. Okay? The worst thing you can do is that. Okay, the fans are not going to cheer for who they, if WWE wants you to cheer for somebody, they're not going to do that. They're going to revolt. That's what they did. Okay? WWE wanted to, you're going to cheer for Charlotte. No, they absolutely booed Charlotte. Okay? And then they started, the whole Becky revolution. Okay? It was supposed to be Charlotte versus Ronda. Okay? That was last year's WrestleMania. After Ronda did a good showing and Charlotte beat the streak of Asuka,
we already knew that was going to be the main event.
That was the main event for this year's WrestleMania. Becky absolutely threw a whole wrench into that plan.
If Becky would have not thrown this new gimmick and this new character, she will already be in the pre-show.
Yep.
She will be another member of the Battle Royal that of course they're going to have, the Women's Battle Royal. And I agree with you. Nobody expected Becky. Nobody thought that Becky was able to pull this off, and she did. And she did. For that reason, she is at the top of her game. Did you see that she challenged The Rock to a match?
And The Rock said, yeah,
and The Rock said, let's do it.
For me, dude, I would much rather, after seeing that on Monday night, I would much rather see Becky versus Ronda, and I would much rather see Charlotte versus Asuka too.
I want to agree with that.
I don't need to see Charlotte in another fucking main event spot stealing the spotlight. I'd rather see Becky have her moment.
You know what I will do? I will do something that will be a little bit different. I will do a triple threat for the Smackdown Women's Championship, and I will add Mandy Rose in there. And most people will say why. That way Asuka doesn't have to take another pin. Because there's no reason for Asuka to lose once again after 2 months of being pushed. You see the match that she just put in the Royal Rumble. She's again at the top of her game. There's no more Asuka that is friends with Naomi, that loses to anybody. She was able to rebuild herself. But she's in that credibility state.
Well, right now, that won't happen. It's going to be a triple threat at Mania. It'll be Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. And Asuka will face somebody on SmackDown, and Asuka will win. I don't see Asuka losing.
At least because WWE in this instance, when it comes to Asuka, they need to have her win.
I agree.
Or at least not get the pin. So that's what I'm saying. I've heard reports that Mandy Rose is going to be pushed. Why don't you just put him in that spotlight? She's kind of a God's greatest creation. I like the interaction with Corey Graves.
Yeah. Well, Corey, man, oh my God, he's got a hard on
He
all the
freaking
time.
loses it. He freaking loses it. He'll make us stop talking if she will be coming out.
Yeah.
So, and of course we know that they love to push blondies.
Oh yeah.
So you have that in Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
And that way she can take the pin.
Yeah.
And that way you keep Charlotte and Asuka clean. You keep them secure.
Well, that's the reason why it's going to be a triple threat match, I think, with Charlotte and Becky and Ronda, because they don't want Ronda to take the pin or a submission.
So yeah.
So
I will say Becky Lynch right now, she cut one of her greatest promos. She made you believe that she absolutely hates Ronda Rousey. And because of that heat, Ronda Rousey was able to cut one of her greatest promos either. If you heard how hard she smashed that microphone, she was pissed. She absolutely hates the fact that people love Becky and despise her. And I'm like, Ronda, sweetheart, if you're a good heel, you're portraying your character right.
You gotta get over it.
Why? No, I'm saying like, it doesn't matter if you're a heel. It doesn't matter if people don't like you. If they don't like you, you're doing something right. That's the thing. You don't come to the WWE, or you didn't become a professional wrestler to be liked.
No. For me, you came for money.
You came for money and to do good, to learn how to be a professional wrestler. So Ronda, if they boo you, it doesn't matter. We know you're legit, but it doesn't matter if you're a heel. Being a heel when it comes to being against Becky Lynch, it's fine. At the end, you won't take the pin because Charlotte somehow is going to be added into the main event. You'll become a triple threat. And what's going to happen is probably she will take the pin.
I'm hoping. I want Becky to win, but I know how Charlotte is the golden child. She is the Roman Reigns.
Female Roman Reigns.
She is the Roman Reigns of the women's division, and I feel they're going to fuck Becky over.
I hope not, but we'll see. We have 2 more months to figure that one out. So that was the only relevant thing about Monday Night Raw.